big service and I'm here with you for just a moment, just to kind of smile upon you. You've got a magic in this room today, and I hope you can take a little piece of it home with you when you go, because it's enough for everybody. But you've created something very magical here. There's hope in the room. Because hope is one of the pieces you've all been doing without for the last few months. You've all been trying to find your anchors again. You passed through this incredible portal that took place between the 12th of December and the 21st of December, and you emerged into this whole new world. But it wasn't easy for you. You had all the kind of resistance to it, because humans don't like to change, in case you haven't figured that one out yet. There's all kinds of resistance to it. So your natural part is to just stay the same as you are all the time, and you call that normal. You call that successful. Well, that's going to change now, because there is no more of that. What's happened is you've gone through this portal, you've emerged into a new world. But you had kind of a running start for it, you know. We had to kind of get you to really get moving to get you through that portal the way you did. So we started working on it almost 11 years before, and building all this big wave of energy, which kind of took you through the whole portal. But it pushed you through with a natural motion all of its own. And it felt very comfortable for most of you, just kind of like waking up the next day. You just kind of open your eyes and everything looks the same. But it's not. It's changed pretty drastically for all of you. And we couldn't even tell you about this until after March of this year, for the very simple reason that you're all still wandering around trying to find your new anchors in the new world. And if we tell you, oh, guess what, you're all lost, then you all would be lost even worse than what you were in the first place. So we try not to tell you those things, because you take us so seriously sometimes. We know you like to give your power away, but it's okay. We're just going to play with you a little bit. Here's where you are. You had to anchor after March. The end of March allowed all humans to start feeling where you are, to start anchoring in the new world. Well, those of you who are just coming along, just kind of emerging and awakening from the dream, it was perfect timing, because your whole world was changing anyway. But what about all of you who were on the path? What about all of you who had things going in a direction, and all of a sudden they weren't working the same way? Well, a lot of you experienced that. And that's what was truly happening as you pushed through this portal and as you created this shadow world on the other side. Well, the shadow world worked great because it allowed you to step right into it. It allowed you not to think too much and just kind of move into your heart. But those of you vibrationally who are kind of leading the way vibrationally, you see through the smoke screen a little too easy. And a lot of you saw the emptiness that was on the other side of the shadow world that you created for yourself. And right away, you started getting depressed. You started feeling the emptiness and the lack of your grounding. And it caused quite a ripple and quite a concern on our side of the veil. Because you see, you're the greatest angels that have ever walked anywhere. And you're our hope for all of humanity. Because you're all awakening from the dream and you're daring to carry your light in a new way. Well, there's been this whole period that's been going on of panic on planet Earth. And some of you started to ground. Some of you started to feel more comfortable. But a lot of what you built for yourself as a stability, as a platform, as a base is gone. And you feel lost, many of you. Well, we understand that. And it doesn't have to be another dark night of the soul, we tell you. You don't have to go through a complete clearing in that way again, because it's happening to all of you. But here's the magic. Because somebody asked this a while back. They said, I think it was actually at the 12/12. Somebody raised their hand and said, what's another magical date that's coming up that we can all watch for? What can we do? Because now we're past the 12/12/12. What are we going to do? And they said, August 19th. That's what we told you, August 19th. Well, that date's coming up pretty quick. Guess what's going to happen on August 19th? You can ground again. The whole part of the shadow world is starting to blow away now. And you're going to see the true earth the way that you're building it right now in this part of the world. And it's going to change all over the world. You're going to see all kinds of new movements. Now, if you turn on your television today and you turn to one of your news channels, you're going to see about one of four things, pretty basic stuff that's going on all over the place. One of the big ones that we've told you about is the redistribution of water. It's going to continue to cause some challenges for most of you as the balance of the earth rebalances herself. She's in a new spin, you know, which means that there's basically a new vibration being sent out from planet Earth to all of the universe. Well, this is perfect because this is a place for you to find empowerment. Planet Earth has changed because the humans are now carrying more of their own spirit. They don't need the same shadow world that you needed before. You've got capabilities of stepping into it completely on your own and making it work. And we're so proud of you. That's what you don't always understand. We see you. You're never alone. Oh, we know you think you are. We know you think you say things to yourself all the time, but when you're talking to yourself, we're sitting there going, yeah, we hear you. We know, we understand what's going on. So please understand that we're always on your shoulder. And we're always a part of you in some way. So we're never here to tell you you're doing something wrong, because that's a polarity judgment, isn't it? All we want to do is help you on your path, to put a little bit of wind at your back and see what you can make of it, to see what you can do if we turn the creators loose on planet Earth, and we give you a beautiful place of empowerment to take your responsibility and use it. It's happening, and it's starting right away. So you choose your place. You choose your place on the new Earth, because this one's a conscious choice. It's the only way to get there. You cannot get there by default. You have to choose it consciously. So it's time for the conscious creators to awaken from the dream, to take your route, to know that you're placed on planet Earth with a very specific purpose and a reason. And that now's the time. Welcome home, everybody. Now I'm going to bring in my brother for just a moment. Greetings, I am the keeper of time. And this day has moved in time like you would never know. This time has now congealed into a new reality. And this is beautiful from our perspective, because we have watched all humans struggle as you have moved from this world into this world. You all knew it was coming. You were all predicting it yourselves. You were telling your own students to watch for this and to watch for that. So why would it surprise any of you that it is here? Yes, it is. Some of you are still waiting to see it on your news channels. Others are waiting for scientific validation, none of which will happen in the way you believe it to. You are at a quandary with your sciences right at this moment. For your sciences have prided themselves on structure, on building, on labeling things so that all of the heart energy, the emotions could be taken out in order to study something. Very appropriate. It's part of your normal scientific way of doing business. But then you reach problems that you cannot solve, and you cannot go any further, which is normal anyway. But then suddenly there's a new energetic, a heart energy, which starts explaining all the missing pieces in your sciences. Well, this has happened today. This is what you call quantum sciences. Your quantum physics has opened doors that explain spirituality. They explain what you have all known in your heart in a scientific realm. But now the quandary comes, the big challenge for all of you. For you are studying something. What is it you are studying? Well, that is the big question, because the moment you focus consciousness on it, it changes. That is true with everything. Right at the moment, the keeper is looking with his eyes upon this audience, and he can see about 70 people in this room. All the trillions and trillions of atoms floating around in different places. But what if we truly took the veil off and showed you what was truly happening in this room at this moment, in all dimensions of time and space? You would see that each atom in each person is moving all over the place, and that you are not defined the way that you define yourself when you look at yourself. You are in motion at all times. And you are not confined by the constricts of the physical bubble of biology which you inhabit. Now you are starting to understand that you exist in different locations at the same time. This has never been a part of you, even though you have danced with this concept. You have never fully grasped it or grounded it. It has been an interesting thought that many of you and your science fiction writers have played with. But no one has ever grounded it in reality. You have that opportunity now. You have the opportunity to begin to see your own reflection in the universe. Why is that so difficult for you to see? For the simple reason that you must balance egos. You must have that sense of self in order for you to pretend to be a human. It is the only way it works. But now that whole sense of self must redefine itself in a new way, in a way that will empower both the spirit and the human. And this is a way of walking in grace. There is a word that we have avoided for many years, dear ones. We wrote a book with the keeper called Spiritual Psychology quite some time ago. And in it, it mentions the final life lesson of grace. But in there, we said practically nothing about it, except that very few humans were working with it because it meant you had to harmonize everything. All areas of your life were in full harmony of you. We even described it in the book as a person who could walk across a pristine meadow of brand new grass. And instead of trampling the grass would grow stronger because you walked upon it. You have called those people masters. You have deified them. You have worshipped them in many areas of your life, and we have no judgment about that. For that is a beautiful reflection of you. But now you must understand that those are reflections of your energy, and that you hold this power within each of you. What would happen on planet Earth if everyone would awaken tomorrow and find out they were God? Well, you would have some labeling problems, obviously. That is what we are telling you. You are all awakening from the dream right now. It has been going on for several months in a very way that has affected all of Earth. There is a wave of energy which has been encircling and recircling the Earth. You are the ones that have created it. You are the ones that have pushed it every time it came by to make sure it had the momentum to go another round. And now it has completed. The Earth is ready for the empowered humans. And that could not be said until August 19th, coming up soon. But you will feel a change of energy. You will still find resistance. You will still find challenges. You will still find that not everything is perfectly harmonized, for there are things that you wanted to teach yourself when you came to Earth. There are certainly ideas and concepts that you wanted to grab when you were here. So many of you have set up what you would call negative situations or challenges in your life so that you could have those things drawn to you. We have no problem with any of that, only that you judge it sometimes. Do you know what happens when God judges himself and herself? There is a big challenge, dear ones. There is an emptiness in that creation that causes a ripple that creates challenges throughout all of humanity. You are the ones that have the wings. You are the ones that can spread your wings and settle all energy on Earth. And we ask you to take responsibility for that and start working in that way. Not that it is your responsibility to make sure everything turns out well, but when you see challenges, which you are seeing every day on your news, you are seeing people that get scared to the soul level and overreact in their world. And yes, sometimes you call, that was a bad person. Well, we hate to tell you this, dear ones, but there has never been a bad person. There is no such thing as evil. It never has existed. It is a human compilation, dear ones. And it's also time that you start releasing that idea. Polarity does not work on your earth the same way it did in the lower vibrations before the portal. So it is time to start losing some of those negative concepts which have driven you toward the light. You no longer need them. And furthermore, they can cause you great challenges in your own efforts as you move forward. They will undermine your truth. So we ask you to find positive reinforcements, positive things of where your passion is in your heart, and to try and blend more of your heart thinking into your brain and your everyday thoughts, because that is the new magic that has opened up. There is a new connection between the heart and the brain. And humans only have to ask the heart once. The brain will say, "What did you say? Can I say that differently? Can I ask it again? How did you say that exactly?" The brain will take it all apart, but the heart will simply feel it and say yes or no. Use both of them. Combine them together in a new way. This is the new earth. This is the new possibilities that you have created. You have looked forward to this beautiful time of the rebirth of planet Earth. It is here. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. It is with the greatest of honor we ask you to treat each other with respect. Nurture one another at every chance you get. It's a beautiful game you're playing. Play well together. Spavo.
Already. They don't call me the Kleenex lady for nothing. I don't know when I started doing that, but if you ever need a Kleenex, come see me. And he always needs one after the group touches his heart. Oh, I forgot to kiss you. And there you go. I'll kiss you too. Come up for kisses. Ah.